In a world as vast and unpredictable as ours, those in the public sector encounter people from every corner of life. Diversity comes with the territory, and navigating unexpected situations often becomes second nature. But for one South Korean taxi driver, nothing could have prepared him for this, a passenger with a suitcase leaking blood. Stunned and unsure how to react, he had unwittingly stepped into the center of a case that would shake an entire nation. Today we're diving into a story unlike the usual, a chilling incident in South Korea that's making headlines worldwide. With details being misreported by many Western outlets, it's time to set the record straight. This is the haunting case of Jong Yoo-jong. Welcome to South Korea, everyone. Today's journey takes us down south to the coastal city of Busan. Known officially as Busan Metropolitan City, it holds the title of South Korea's second largest city and stands as the economic hub of the southern region. With nearly 3.5 million people calling it home and a GDP of $76 billion, this city thrives with energy and economic power. But since it's our first visit, let's take a moment to uncover some intriguing details. As the heart of South Korea's largest film industry, Busan has rightfully earned its reputation as a hub of creativity. Busan is the beating heart of festivals and creative events, serving as Asia's ultimate hub for entertainment. Think of it as Asia's answer to Melbourne, California, or Glasgow, vibrant, dynamic, and full of life. For outdoor enthusiasts, few places can rival what Busan has to offer. Boasting stunning beaches, rejuvenating hot springs, and mesmerizing coastal views, this destination is perfect for those craving a mix of culture and sunshine. Busan's official website seems eager to highlight its bustling seaport, and for good reason. As the sixth largest megaport globally, it handles nearly 22 million 20-foot shipping containers every year, making its waters a hub of international trade. Busan, like much of South Korea, is known for being an exceptionally safe place to live, which is likely why today's case drew so much attention. In the early hours of Monday, March 27, 2023, at around 3 a.m., police received a call from a deeply worried taxi driver. He had just completed a ride with a young woman who had flagged him down while carrying a suitcase. Before getting in, she requested to be dropped off near a wooded area along the Nakdong riverside, close to Hapo Station in Busan. This wasn't an issue at first. The taxi driver had driven this route countless times, and the trip seemed completely routine, until the moment the passenger stepped out of the car. As he retrieved her suitcase from the trunk, something caught his attention. A dark, thick liquid had leaked from beneath the bag. Sticky to the touch and ominously red, the substance eerily resembled blood. The passenger appeared oblivious to the worry etched on his face, and hidden by the shadows of night, she likely remained unaware of his unsettling discovery. Not wanting to raise alarm, the taxi driver acted as though everything was fine. After bidding her farewell, he watched her disappear into the wooded area. Once she was out of sight, he returned to the trunk. Upon opening it, he noticed a small pool of blood staining the carpet where the suitcase had been. Whatever was inside that suitcase couldn't have been anything good. Acting quickly, he made the right call and contacted South Korea's emergency hotline 112. The situation was alarming enough to immediately grab the attention of the authorities. Within minutes, officers were dispatched to the location, where they uncovered a gruesome discovery: several dismembered body parts. The shadowy forest, cloaked in darkness, seemed like an ideal location to conceal a crime. However, the driver's sharp instincts led to the female passenger being identified and traced to her residence within hours. Just 3 hours after stepping out of the cab, the young woman, later identified as Jong Yoo-jong, was taken into custody. Using surveillance footage from the area where Yoo-jong was last seen entering a taxi, data analysts quickly identified her. With mounting evidence against her, authorities gathered enough proof to secure a search warrant for her home. It's important to note that in South Korea, the media seldom reveals the identities or personal details of crime victims and suspects. Enacted in 1991, this law protects the safety and privacy of both offenders and victims. However, when violent crimes are involved, the Special Act on Punishment of Specific Violent Crimes allows certain privacy protections to be lifted, enabling the public to stay informed about individuals who may pose a danger. Now turning to today's case, who was Jong Yoo-jong? Born in 1999, Yoo-jong was just 23 years old. Reports suggest that her parents were often too busy to care for her, leaving her to be raised by her grandfather in Busan's Bukgu district. She attended Guingai Girls High School, a private secondary institution where her presence left little impression. Her classmates remember her as an odd but quiet figure. Sitting at the back of the classroom, she kept to herself, rarely engaging with others and seemingly uninterested in forming friendships. While it might sound harsh, this description comes directly from those who knew her. Despite not being the target of bullying, Yu Jong showed no inclination to socialize or connect with her peers during her school years. Most efforts to start a conversation with her were met with nothing but a blank stare. After graduation, she barely stayed in touch with her former classmates. For 5 years, she remained unemployed, dedicating her time to studying for South Korea's civil service exam, a crucial step for anyone aiming to join the public sector. Proficiency in English is a key requirement for the exam, but unfortunately, Yu Jong struggled significantly in this area. At 23, her English skills were comparable to those of a high school student. Keep this detail in mind. It will become important later in the story. In recent years, Yu Jong's world had shrunk to the size of her apartment. She rarely stepped outside, avoided making plans, and showed no interest in exploring beyond her comfort zone. Instead, she dove headfirst into the dark world of true crime. Her shelves overflowed with books on infamous murder cases, her TV binged Korean crime shows on her behalf, and she became fixated on the twisted minds of serial killers. Over the next few days, data analysts uncovered some intriguing revelations about Yu Jong. When investigators checked her phone, they found almost no contacts or messages, a chilling glimpse into her isolated world. But what truly raised alarms were her recent online searches: how to murder someone, murder without a body, and the perfect murder. In the months leading up to the crime, these disturbing searches painted a dark picture. Initially, Yu Jong denied killing her victim, spinning a story about being forced to dispose of the body under threats to her own life. The truth, however, was far more sinister. Police quickly poked holes in her story, and under pressure from her family, she confessed just 3 days later. What she admitted was chilling. She had an uncontrollable urge to kill, driven by a dark curiosity to experience what it felt like. Her motive, purely morbid curiosity. That's why Yu Jong chose a complete stranger as her target. But who was her victim? And how did the crime unfold? Due to South Korean law, the victim's identity is protected. We don't know her name or face, so for the sake of this tale, let's call her Jian. Yu Jong's dark intentions took root 3 months ago when she turned to the internet for answers. Her twisted logic was simple. A random target would leave no trail of motive. With charm as lifeless as a goldfish, she knew face-to-face scheming wasn't an option. Instead, she crafted a persona online, posing as a parent in search of an English tutor for her child. The perfect bait on a popular tutoring app, her trap was set. On May 24, 2023, Jian was paired with Yu Jong, a connection that seemed ordinary at first. They agreed to meet 2 days later on May 26th, with Yu Jong casually mentioning she'd send her child to Jian's house. Jian readily agreed, unaware of the dark intentions behind this arrangement. In the days leading up to their meeting, Yu Jong carefully set her plan into motion. She purchased a school uniform online, the perfect disguise for her sinister scheme. On the appointed day, dressed as the innocent child she claimed to send, she tucked a knife into her pocket and headed to Jian's home in Gyeongju. At just 4'9", 144 cm, Yu Jong's petite stature likely dissolved any doubts Jian might have had at the door. After entering the house and realizing Jian lived alone, the facade dropped. Yu Jong pulled out the knife and without hesitation ended Jian's life in cold blood. Once her grim act was complete, she calmly moved on to the next phase of her plan. Just after midnight, Yu Jong returned home, grabbed her suitcase, and set off on a chilling errand. She visited a local supermarket, purchasing knives, locks, zip ties, bleach, and plastic bags, items that hinted at her sinister intentions. Surveillance footage caught her walking between homes with an unsettling spring in her step, as if giddy about the horrors she was about to commit. Back at Jian's home, Yu Jong carried out her gruesome plan. She dismembered Jian's body, stuffing some parts into the suitcase. By 3 a.m. on the 27th, with the limbs poorly secured inside, she hailed a taxi. Her destination? A nearby park where she discarded the remains in an attempt to stage a disappearance. To further erase Jian's identity, she kept her license, phone, and purse. Yu Jong even brought the suitcase back home, preparing for a second round of disposal later that day. What's most haunting is not just the act itself, but the eerie excitement she seemed to carry throughout it all. Yu Jong once claimed she aimed to pull off the perfect crime, but as fate would have it, perfection was far out of reach. Her plan unraveled quickly, leading to her swift arrest. While the truth remains murky, many believe Yu Jong's choice of victim was anything but random. Jean embodied everything Yu Jong desired but couldn't attain: a respected social status and an impressive academic pedigree. Where Yu Jong stumbled and failed her English exams, Jian soared, graduating in English from a top-tier university. Some say jealousy burned within Yu Jong, driving her to target the very person who represented everything she could never be. Yu Jong tried to stall her arrest with a desperate claim of internal bleeding, but the truth caught up with her quickly. Doctors found her in perfect health, and she was rearrested on the spot. There were no red flags in her past, no history of mental illness, no criminal record, no signs of the darkness brewing within. Her crime was as unpredictable as it was chilling. Yu Jong lived in isolation, a ghost in her own world. With no friends to confide in, her twisted fantasies festered in silence. After her arrest, she revealed a haunting ambition. She dreamed of executing the perfect crime. Yet despite her meticulous planning, fate, and a sharp-eyed taxi driver ensured her dream would remain just that: a delusion shattered by reality. Jian's DNA was all over her apartment. Yu Jong's DNA was there too. The leaking suitcase had been her fatal mistake, an error that left a trail she couldn't erase. Surveillance cameras sealed her fate, capturing her every move. Here's a fascinating twist. In South Korea, there's a 4-factor test designed to uncover psychopathy. Let that sink in. It's a tool for psychologists to analyze whether someone fits the profile of a psychopath, and if you're not already connecting the dots, well, that might say more about you than the test ever could. A score of 15 marks the average, while 25 and above plunges you into the realm of psychopathy. Yu Jong scored a chilling 28, eclipsing even infamous serial killer Kang Ho-sun's 27. After killing his own mother, he turned to slaughtering stray dogs and murdering multiple women before finally being caught. Yet somehow, Yu Jong's score surpassing Ho-sun on the infamous psychopath test is a chilling revelation, if the test holds any weight at all. Here's the twist. Based on her behavior, authorities believed that if Yu Jong hadn't been stopped, she was well on her way to becoming a serial killer herself. Even more disturbing? Experts, upon learning of her background, labeled her a reclusive outcast with cripplingly low self-esteem. This grim portrayal has since dominated Korean news headlines, painting a haunting picture of the woman who might have become Korea's next nightmare. In a heart-rending interview with NBC, Yu Jong's grandfather, his voice heavy with sorrow and regret, confessed, "I want to apologize 100 times to the bereaved family for raising my granddaughter wrong. That's how I feel." Just weeks ago, Yu Jong herself stood trembling outside the police station, offering tearful apologies that echoed the weight of her actions. "I apologize to the victim and her family. I must have been out of my mind," she confessed in a chilling statement to the media. The case sent shockwaves through South Korea, igniting a firestorm of outrage and disbelief. The sheer cold-bloodedness of it all left many horrified. Yu Jong had no motive, no reason, other than to satisfy her own dark, twisted curiosity. And now, the nation holds its breath. The trial looms, though no date has been set, leaving everyone to wonder what justice awaits. She remains under psychological evaluation, with charges yet to be finalized. But let's face it, first-degree murder seems inevitable. South Korea technically permits the death penalty, though no one has faced execution since 1997. Over 60 inmates linger on death row, doomed to a limbo that rarely ends in capital punishment. Yu Jong, however, could face anything from a shocking 5 years to a life-altering sentence, depending on the verdict. Guilty or not, her fate hangs in the balance. True crime fanatics know the genre can be a double-edged sword. While it's possible she picked up some tricks from her obsession, the media's portrayal of her interests feels overblown. Yet as fascination with true crime booms in today's world, this case stands as a chilling reminder of how blurred the lines between intrigue and reality can become. Honestly, if it weren't for that growth, I wouldn't be here sharing this with you today. I've touched on this before, but when approached with compassion, true crime can teach us valuable lessons: empathy for victims, heightened awareness of our own safety, and understanding of the darker corners of human nature. Take Yu Jong, for example, a recluse trapped in crushing loneliness. That isolation didn't just leave him empty. It created a dangerous void, one that twisted into an obsession so dark, it manifested as the desire to kill. Let me be clear, watching true crime doesn't make you strange or odd. It's a window into the human psyche, a chance to learn, not just watch. But it's also a stark reminder of how loneliness and obsession can spiral into something truly horrifying. Curiosity is woven into the fabric of our being, driving us to explore the uncharted corners of the human psyche. And this genre? It opens the door to those dark, fascinating depths. On a side note, that taxi driver? He quit his job last week. Seems Yu Jong was enough to spark a life-altering decision. Once again, thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll return soon with another story to unravel. Until then, take care of yourself, care for those around you, and above all, stay safe. Goodbye.